Yo, what's up guys, it's 42 back here with another video, and today we are talking about the one, the only Twizzy Rich, aka Yeat, one of the greatest underground rappers of all time, honestly. Today we're going to be talking about his newest project, 2093, which is set to drop this month. Now, we don't know when it's going to drop specifically this month, but he said this month, so we're just going to take his word for it and roll with it. All right, today we're going to be talking about the rollout with 2093, what he's posted in the past, what he's currently posting, and what he may plan to post in the future. I guess it depends, but we've gotten a lot of good information from him. I still think we need some more information regarding track list and just stuff like that, but a lot of people think it's going to drop this week. I don't know if that's possible at this point. I think honestly next week, like the 23rd, 24th could be the day we're getting it, but I guess we'll have to see. All right, so let's talk about what he has posted in the past. So initially there were all of these like kind of dystopian videos going around through his Lifestyle Corporation Instagram, and that was a huge part of the promotional tactic for this album. It was like the only part at that point, and everyone was kind of thinking like what's going to be the name of this project, what it's going to have to do with, all that stuff. And 2093 was revealed through those videos, and that's what they came to the conclusion on. But besides that, we really didn't get any other information. It was mostly just kind of like a artistic video, I guess, if you will. I thought they were pretty entertaining. They just didn't have a lot of information about the album, but I think it's honestly good because it's a nice way to preface the audience and the viewer into the overall vibe that he was going for. So a few of those videos came out and they were rolled out through his Lifestyle Corporation Instagram, as I mentioned earlier. Not much else though. I think there was some of those videos getting reposted on TikTok, but it wasn't him. It was, you know, just his fans and stuff like that. But then we got some really good feature information, and I'm talking about Future, Childish Gambino, and of course Lil Wayne. Yes, Lil Wayne. So first, Childish Gambino, let's talk about him. Yeat shared a photo of himself in the studio with none other than Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, same person of course, but that gave a lot of interesting conversation about, you know, the features on this project and how mainstream this project will be. So for the most part, a lot of people were excited about the idea that Childish Gambino would be on the project. Honestly, me personally, I'm a huge fan, so I was excited for it. I was definitely looking forward to it. There were some haters, of course, but haters will be haters, right? And then, you know, a few weeks later, we got the Future information, and that was a snippet of Yeat and Future together, which we can only assume will be on 2093. And that right there sparked the main conversation of this album is going to be fully mainstream. Now we're going to talk about selling numbers and all of the first week sales, stuff like that, after we talk about the features. But I mean, that right there proves that this album is going to sell. Getting a feature from Future, that's kind of a word scramble right there, but getting a feature from Future is difficult and it's hard. And he only gives features to artists that he really believes in, and mostly mainstream artists, right? Like, we can't think of any underground artists that are getting this. And this just proves to any hater of Yeat that he is fully mainstream at this point, like full on a mainstream artist. So then we got an incredible post from Yeat, and that post signified that he would be dropping in February. Now there were a lot of images that he shared. The first ones, or the first kind of set of images, being the landmarks that showed projections of 2093. He was using that as a promotional tactic beforehand, kind of just like the light projection on the Hollywood sign in Paris, in Spain, and all these other places showing, you know, 2093. It was kind of fake, but it looked cool and it got a lot of people talking. Then he shared some pictures of an Alex Moss made chain that was kind of like the 2093 chain. I guess it's kind of comparable to the opium chain that Ice Spice was wearing for Playboi Carti, and you know what Playboi Carti's been rocking with from Alex Moss. I gotta say, it looked incredible. And then we got a screenshot of a FaceTime conversation between him and Drake. Now, of course, it's just a screenshot of a conversation, but what this most likely means, right, is there's got to be a feature from Drake. Like, there has to be a feature from Drake. So, I mean, I'm thinking we're getting Drake, and that's what everyone else thinks. I think it'd be very disappointing if we didn't. I mean, Yeat was in his album, so, like, why would he not be in Yeat's album? Like, it really makes no sense. So I'm assuming that we're gonna hear Drake in there. And so that post went crazy because he had the 2-???-24. So he basically let everyone know that it would be dropping in February. Now, again, we don't really know when in February. As I'm recording this, it's the 13th. This video will probably come out the 14th or the 15th. And that's halfway through the month. The 14th is technically the halfway point. So it's halfway through the month, we still haven't heard anything. I'm assuming in the next 2 weeks, we will hear something. The last piece of information that we got was Lil Wayne, and more specifically, a Lil Wayne feature. Now, Yeat just posted a picture on his Instagram story a few days ago of the track list, or specifically that single song from the track list at number 9, the song title, and the featuring from Lil Wayne. We didn't get to hear anything like the Future song, but we know Lil Wayne will be on the project, and that again shows you that this project will be without a doubt mainstream. And again, we're going to talk about it later, but it's going to sell, and it's going to sell like crazy. First, we need to talk about Kanye West, Playboi Carti, and what they're doing to this rollout. And I mean that in more of a negative way, because with Kanye West just dropping Vultures, I think that created a little bit of doubt in Yeat's head about when he wanted to drop. I think he was planning for this week, but it's a little bit hard when everyone's just been talking strictly about Kanye. Also, it seems like Playboi Carti might actually drop in the next few weeks, potentially, because leakers are talking about listening parties and just all of that stuff. And even if he doesn't drop, I think just talking about it kind of creates a little bit of confusion for Yeat, because he's like, do I try to compete with Playboi Carti? Do I just wait until after Playboi Carti? Do I just get it out now, and then if Playboi Carti comes later, it is what it is? So I think that's kind of an inner dialogue he's having amongst himself and also his team. I think it's an important one to have too, because Playboi Carti is going to be the main talk of the town whenever he decides to drop, if he does. But I mean, regardless, people are still going to listen to Yeat. I know I will. I mean, if it's a choice between Playboi Carti and Yeat, of course I'll choose Playboi Carti first, but I'll still give Yeat a listen and still add probably most of the songs because I'm a huge fan. But now talking about overall sales. So depending on when this album comes out, soon after we'll find out about how much he sold. Now, Vultures just came out. He sold, Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign specifically, sold 140,000 units, which I believe is the second lowest, kind of after, I think, Life of Pablo, since that was on Tidal, and then also Kids See Ghost. Kids See Ghost was like at 142K, so it'll be a little bit above. Now, also we have to take into mind that Vultures was completely independent, so that probably has to do with why it was a little bit lower than his previous albums. Also, it's just a little bit different rollout style, so it kind of makes sense. But when we're talking about numbers for Yeat, right, we talk about what he sold previously and what I believe he can do for this project. Honestly, I'm thinking over 100K. Like, I mean this genuinely in the most serious way possible. I think Yeat is an artist who can sell 100 to 110,000 units first week. I'm not saying he will for sure hit over 100,000 units, but I mean, I would say at least 80,000. 80,000 seems well within his range. And I know A Great Chaos was at like 50,000 first week, and Ken Carson and Yeat are pretty comparable in size comparison. But I just think streaming wise, Yeat, I mean, it's Yeat, right? He's the king of the underground. Like, again, Ken Carson is comparable, but he's not Yeat. I'll just say it like that. He's not Yeat. And Yeat is going to have the Lil Wayne feature. He's going to have probably the Drake feature. He's going to have the Future feature. And he's going to have the Childish Gambino feature. And I just don't think that you can beat that. I think that is a over 100,000 unit first week project right there. Now let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I could be way off. Maybe he hits like 50K or 60K. There's no way, right? Like, I'm really thinking it's 90 to 115K. That's kind of the range I'm giving it. And if it's anything above that, I mean, I'd be incredibly impressed. But I guess we'll have to wait and see whenever he drops, which maybe this week, next week, could be March. I don't know at this point. But hope you guys enjoy this video. Hope you guys enjoy this content. Really been kicking into full gear with the YouTube stuff. Hope you guys are excited for Yeat's Project 2093. I am. I'm super excited. Vultures was great. Now I'm just waiting for Yeat's and of course Playboy Cardi. So hopefully that'll come soon. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week though, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all the other good stuff. But yeah, have a great rest of your week, guys.